Hi there, I'm Corrine, and welcome to Blist.com or Corrine Blist on YouTube. So I got a question this morning from a friend of mine's daughter who just started college, and she's living with roommates. So she says, "Hey Corrine, I was wondering if I could ask you for some advice." I love that she's texting me. My roommates are all going through some breakups right now, and I want to help them, but it can be draining. And having that energy in our living space is starting to take its toll. Any tips? Yeah, that would be hard to live with that if a bunch of roommates are all breaking up and they're going through those stories over and over in their heads, right? So how can you do that and still be a good friend at the same time? I've actually lived with people most of my life, and so I'm pretty good at it. So energetically speaking, there's a couple of different ways to approach this, but my first intuition to tell her was energetically what I do all the time, no matter who I'm talking to really these days, because I do help a lot of people and talk to a lot of people. So I literally, virtually, energetically in my mind, karate chop, what it looks like this in front of my body so that they can't plug their tentacles of energy just because people that are low in energy, and if they're complaining a lot or going through something difficult, they are low in energy. And so people will try to get energy wherever they can, right? And so they will definitely be doing that unconsciously, but they literally try to plug into you when you have a lot of energy. And for those of us who are happy to listen to people and happy to help people, we tend to have a lot of energy. You can tell by my speed of talking that I do have a lot of energy on most days. So energetically, virtually cutting yourself off from them so that they can't energetically plug in, but you can still listen. Okay, and then another thing I do visual is I put them in a glass house or myself in a glass house so they can't reach me energetically. I can still listen, but they can't, plug into me or drain my energy. Because, people will only drain your energy if you allow it to happen. You can't say, "Oh, that person drains me," because it's your choice to be around them, and also your choice, even though it's subconsciously, that they plug into you, right? So then when you know better, you do better. Once they've sort of done, because your friends have to process and you have to process it with them and share stories, and that's all definitely healing and helps people. That's why people have therapists, people have life coaches, and why we have good friends is to listen to each other's stories. But after you process the emotions, then it's time to move on. And how do you help your friend to move on? Because actually, when they talk about it, think about it, when you break up with someone, what keeps them alive, or that relationship alive, even no matter how bad it was, what keeps it alive is you talking about it. So you continuing to give that energy. So your friends continuing to talk about it, to give them to give energy to the story. That's what keeps it alive. So what you do after everybody's processed it, and after you've listened to her or him, you just listen. You don't interject. You don't give advice, because ultimately they won't listen anyway. They say they will, but my experience of so many years is that people say, "Oh, thank you for that advice," and then they never follow it. So, which is fine. People need to follow their own intuition and their own advice. So I just listen after a while. If somebody's going through something, I don't offer any advice. I don't don't give the conversation any energy, and eventually they will peter out. It might take a while, but if you continue to do that, like you teach people how to treat you. So you teach people also how to interact with you, and how to, you're in charge of the conversation, right? So try those things. And then physically in your space, what I do is, I burn a lot of incense. I burn a lot of Palo Santo. I have essential oils. I've got bells that, like yoga bells. So any kind of positive type, yoga music or chanting or spiritual music, Christian music, or whatever your faith is, kind of music, that helps to have that going on in the atmosphere. So if you can't handle the smoke, then burning candles, like you can get smokeless candles, soy-based candles that are not petroleum-based. And essential oils work really well too. I actually wear those every day instead of perfumes, and that sort of heals the energy too. And exercise. Exercise helps to clear if you're feeling heavy at all. Even just doing some jumping jacks before class sometime, or before you go out and greet people, that helps. So I hope you found something in here that's helpful. Email me anytime for any questions you might have. Namaste. Have a great day.